recap that what we had learned in last classes. So we have gone through like get text, get tag name, get size, get rect, get location. So get CSS value also we have seen that what is a CSS and how to fetch the CSS.
I'm not able to see your screen.
I think it's already shared. You check if it. Let me reshare. It's okay.
Yeah.
Now can.
No. Okay, let me join again. If maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Should be okay then. So I was discussing that what we had like in last couple of sessions, like we have gone through the methods of the Selenium. So we
Hmm.
in the last class we discussed about is enabled, each selected we haven't discussed, is displayed we discussed get text, get tag name, get size, get rect, get location, get CSS value, like how
Yeah.
to get the CSS property and how to get the attribute and property means with the value of any attribute, how to first see what is the attribute and how to get the value of the attribute. So difference between find element and find elements also we have seen, click operation we have seen, and in the text box we have seen what is the clear operation. So these kind of examples we have already seen. Okay. So one more is like we are going to discuss about each selected. So each selected is basically applicable on checkbox or a radio button. So first I will go through those examples if I have anywhere, and then I will show you. See, this is the web page. First, let me copy the URL and show you manually. If I'm going here, this is demo dot. This is a good site for demo. You can see here, like there is no radio button as of now selected. So by default, if you come on the first time and ask any radio button that whether it is selected or not selected, so it will always say false. But if you select someone and then after that you check the same like is selected, then it will say true. So that is one thing. Second option is like checkbox. So checkbox by default it is not selected, but once you like click on this, so it will become selected. So selected options you can test in these two options. One is like a radio button and one is checkbox. So basically like identifying web element and all such things is the same way. It's just the new method you are going to learn today. So let me update the couple of lines from the top because these things are the old code and I am updating as per the new code. So this was this one, right? So let me copy this. Is selected up to here. I will update. So it is asking me that or add throws declaration. That's okay. So it will open the Chrome driver and it will run in the maximize mode. So after that, it will open the URL. And then what I'm trying to do, let me show you that part. Let me first comment everything, whatever it is not needed for first time. So I'm just doing on the radio button, right? You see here.
Yeah.
So I'm testing it three properties. Is displayed, is enabled, is selected. Means basically these are like three things which
Mm.
gives you the Boolean value and based on that you can use it. So each displayed is enabled and is selected. So you, by default, when you come here first time on this page, so nothing is like selected. So selected will be false. Displayed is yes, okay, and
Yes.
enabled. Enabled also means like you can able to click. So that is
Yes.
it means enabled.
True.
So three things are there, but is selected will become like false. Okay, for anything. So I'm just
Hmm.
going to test for radio option 2. So how I'm identifying radio option 2 here? See here, this line number 28. Can you see here? So driver dot find element and by dot like any locator I have to pass. So how I got the locator. You see here on the on this one, just right click here and inspect. So you can see here, I got like the tag is input, the type is radio and name is waveform. So name is like same. So I will not take this property because this is giving me multiple options. This one is also like giving unique one. So should be okay, but I will not rely on this because you see a seven numbering system is there. So numbering system mostly like I won't say it's a stable locator. So don't look at it even it is ID, but it's not a stable locator. So in that case, like you have to find a different way. But anyhow, we have a stable one. You can see a value attribute is having option 1, option 2, and option 3. So what I can do here on this basis, I can write a locator. So if you want to write a locator like XPath, so simple way is that Control F, click on this particular element, then do Control F, then this box will be open. And for writing XPath, first we have to put the double slash, okay? And then you have to put the tag name. So tag name is input,
Hmm.
INPUT. So once we'll start writing, it will scroll up. So you have to inspect again. So no worries, means you have to reinspect. Now I have put the input tag and then I will based on that I will start writing. So which one I want to write? Means I want to write on the basis of value.
Value.
So first I have to put like big bracket open, big bracket close. So inside that I will put everything. This is the basic syntax of the X path. Okay, that is called
Yeah.
XML path. So now the attribute name is value. So at the rate, first we have to write at the rate, then value equal to in the single quote. So basically this is the syntax. Means you will start writing, then you will automatically learn after 4 or 5 locators or 6 locators or 10 locators, you will just learn all the things. So I will just copy it from here and I will put in the double quotes. So basically writing here is the best practice because it will highlight you that what are the things you are going to search up. So I put here the double slash, then tag name was input, you can see. And in the big bracket, the attribute name is at the rate attribute name is equal to value and then equal to the value of the attribute. So value of the attribute is option 2. So I put same like a spacing, case sensitive, everything should be same. That's why I copied and paste. So spelling, spacing, everything like case sensitivities. So you see here when I wrote here, it is giving me 1 of 1. So if it is giving you 1 of 1, it means like your 90% work is done. So no problem. You can see here when I'm clicking and hitting enter button, it in the left side, it is automatically selecting. If you see here in the left side, it is highlighting that in the left side. This one is highlighted. So it means my locator is correct. Now I will copy this locator from here. I've copied this locator and came it's my code one. And since I'm writing it for like option number 2, so I just give the like any random name. So option number 2, like driver dot find element will give you the web element return type. So based on that, I have selected this. I have given the name as web element. So here I just pasted the same thing. You can see here what I copied from there. It's the same thing what I have written here. So for your information, this was the, and then I'm saying that before clicking, I'm testing is displayed, is enabled, is selected. So what I know by default, it will be true, true and false. So
False.
let's test this. This is my expectation and I'm going to test this. So after 5 seconds, page will be closed. Then after that, I will go and check my output. So you can see here, true, true, and false.
False.
So this was
Yeah.
already expected and it is giving me in the same fashion. So after that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click it. Okay. So first it will land and after 5 seconds, I will just click it. Okay. So 5 seconds after that, I clicked it. And then after clicking, I am testing the same values. So what it will do, my expectation is first it will true, true, and true. So
Mm.
all truths will be there. So let's test it. And then after 5 seconds, it will be quit and then end of the program. So let's run. Just see on the option number 2 here. After 5 seconds, it is clicked. And after that, it will check again the properties that what it is. And then it is true, true, true.
Yeah.
The output is as expected, true, true, true. So same thing, I will do the testing on a radio, what you call checkbox as well. So radio button has been tested. I will demo on radio button. So this is the name of, I renamed it. And then again, I will create a copy of this, copy paste. And this is for checkbox. So this is a separate file I created, copy and paste, because most of the things will be same, you know. And then what I have to modify here, I will land on this space. That is okay. So this is not a radio button. This is a checkbox. So first I have to write the locators. Now I will take a different checkbox, like take me checkbox number 3. So this is checkbox 3, right? So I will copy this one. I think the rest of the things are same. If I modify this one, you can see here, it is highlighted. You can see here, highlighted. So I will take, it is also 1 of 1. So this is something correct. So I will take this property and I will come here and I will modify this one. Just my locator is need to be modified. So I modified, everything is okay. Now this is a checkbox. Checkbox 3. CHECK box 3. So once I give the name, then just mouse over, create local variable. It will automatically give you web element because driver.find element return type is a web element. So local variable I have created and I will update the other things. This is checkbox, this is checkbox, this is checkbox clicked, this is then again I'm going to test that now what is the output. So you can see here, this is the output. And now if I run this Java application, after 5 seconds, it should clicked. It clicked and then after 5 seconds, it will quit. And then I will check the output. So you can see a true, true, false, and same way it is coming true, true, true. So
Yeah.
is selected, demo is completed. So that's why I told you that day that I have to elaborate it on the some new web element. So that's why I hold it for that day. So you can see here I'm getting the correct output as expected. So this was something related to is selected. Now we have send keys. So send keys we have already seen. Just I will remind you that you have seen the example of like Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was in the clear. When I was going through the clear Facebook login, right? You can see here, this is the demo of the send case. Okay, let me re-explain. It's okay. I can just copy and paste. This is the demo of send keys. Facebook send keys. Send keys demo on Facebook. So just mouse over, rename the file as well. So done. And then I will take this one from the top up to here. I will copy it again, and this I will update up to here. Once I updated it, this will ask me to throw declaration that I already did. So Facebook is there. You can see here I have used 29 number line implicit weight. Implicit weight is a global weight. It means automatically applies for the all the web elements. So how to write it? Driver dot manage is a method, then timeouts, then dot implicitly weight. It means automatic weight, then duration dot of seconds of 15. So I have given the name. It's just not mandatory, but yeah, if you are navigating from page to page, then it is mandatory. For one page, it's not mandatory, so it's the optional part, but it's for a good practice I have put. And just remember one thing, that this code driver.manage.timeouts implicit wait. Normally people are using after driver.get. Once the page is loaded, an element is not loaded. So for that purpose, this is applicable for elements, not for page, right? So that's why I have put here line number 29 after driver.get. Now for user ID field, I'm using here a different locator. So that is the CSS selector. So you remember like how to write the CSS selector. So if I just go to the some examples here. So just remember this, like how to write a CSS selector. So its syntax is tag name without at the rate, the attribute name, then equal to, then in the single quotes, the value of the attribute, and then the single quote is closed and the big bracket is closed. So like simple, but double slash is not needed, like XPath, right? So this is something not needed here, and wildcard start and these things also not needed. So
And
this things
at
at the rate is also not needed. Okay.
mm, okay.
So this is something. Second thing is that two additional things you have to know about CSS selector, that this tag name is optional, means if you want, you can ignore this. Okay,
Okay.
this is not mandatory. Means here tag name is not mandatory. The third thing is that there is a, if you want to identify any web element on multiple attributes, so you can use it like that. This is one. Then second big bracket is started and second big bracket closed. So this is something, if two conditions are matched, then the web element will be identified. So this is called a AND condition. AND condition means the first and second both has to match. Okay, so this is something AND condition. But if you put a comma over here instead of like just normal space, so this will become OR condition. OR condition means either
Either
this is okay or this is
this.
okay. So anyone is satisfying, then the web element will be identified. So these are the things, means you can write it like this as well. So I will put some samples here. Can like this is also okay. Means there is no problem in writing like that. Third is if it is ID, so you can just put here hash symbol and write like this. This is also applicable. And instead of writing this and this is the same, I will put it like this. So you will understand it in a better way. If it is a ID, so you can write like this hash symbol and then just the ID. No single quotes and all such things, big bracket needed, right? If it is a class name, right? Sometimes it's a class name. So instead of that, you can just put here dot. So this is something similar to, I will say like this. This and this are same. Understand? This and this are same. Either you
Mhm.
can write like this dot class name, or you can write tag name, big bracket open and close, and then class name. So it's a shortcut as there are some convenience given there. So now you have a basic idea of this. And if you have a basic idea, then you can start understanding the CSS selector, how to write the CSS selector, right? So easiest way is that you go and copy the CSS selector. But if you want to write, want to learn, so it's better practice and you can go and learn. So let me open that web page here. Let me open Facebook. You can see here, this is the ID page and this is the password. This is the ID and this is the password. So what I want to do, I want to find this web element. So right click, inspect. So this is already highlighted here. You can see I inspected this one and just right click on this web element and go to copy. Then you can see the options copy selector, right? So if you
Yeah.
copy this and come here, you paste it somewhere for temporary purpose so that you will understand it. And just try to understand the syntax. So what it is saying that hash email. So how hash email is there? Hash means ID. It means it says that ID is email. Can see here, right?
Yeah.
If you copy this and just test it here, Control F. If I write like this, so it is saying that one of one, and it is highlighting this. So this is one way. But if I write like this, ID equal to in the single quotes email. So this is also giving me one of one. You can see here one of one. So this and this are same. So you see here what I showed just now. So if it is ID, so this and this will be same. Means no need to. It's up to you how you want to write. Okay, so both applicable. And this is something to understand. And then. So I was giving you a demo how to copy it. So I just right click and copy the CSS selector. It give me like that. But it's up to you that how you want to write. So I wrote it like this. You can see. So this is also correct because I am saying that tag name, big bracket, attribute name equal
See.
to the value in the single quotes and the big bracket is closed. So this is the part I wrote and this is also the same. So if I copy this, you can go and check here. You can see here one of one. It is showing here, right? So it
Yeah.
means this is also correct way of writing. It's up to you how you want to write. So there are multiple ways to write either XPath or CSS selector. So CSS selector is a native component of like browser. So that's why it is bit faster in searching element and the other operations. So because it's a native one, right? And XPath is something XML path. So finding it easy, but like it takes more time. So execution by it is bit slow. So sometimes in the interview, they will try to check your concept that which one is better and why. You can tell that, yeah, CSS selector is bit faster because it is the native component of the browser. So reason wise, you have to tell like that. So since it is a native one, so that's why it is bit faster as compared to XPath. But most preferred people are using XPath because it's something like most widely used and backward navigation is there, forward is there, text-based finding is there, which is not supported in CSS selector. So no ways is there via text way you can find any web element. So that is also only supported in the XPath. So that's why like people are using XPath because sometimes we have to find the element based on the what do you call text as well. So CSS selector detail, I will show you later, just a high level brief I have given you because something it was coming in the example, which I'm going to show you. So I have just made a base so that you can understand it. Now you see here what I was doing here. Driver.find element by.css selector. You see here by.css selector I have taken. So this time I have not taken XPath. I have taken by.css selector. So same is there, just almost similar like XPath, but not 100% same. So tag name is there, then big bracket open, and then attribute, then equal to value. So this part I have given. And after that, I am giving the name as user ID. So I'm saying that user ID dot clear. Then user ID dot send key Selenium. Okay. Then user ID dot clear. It's up for the password. So password also same, almost same. So everything is same. And this is for login button. So you see a login button. If you want to interact the login button, this is the login button. Right click, inspect. You can see this is the button tag, right? So that's
Yeah.
why I have given the name as button. Then the name attribute is there. Name is a login. So button, then name equal to login. That's what I have given. And then here you see here, I'm not using click, I'm using submit. So why I'm using submit? So there is a reason for that. There is a method called submit method in the Selenium, right? So submit method is only applicable for the buttons. Just remember this. If it is a
Okay.
button, so you can use a submit. So that's the thing you have to see here. And type is also written here submit. So means you can submit it. So if those things are there, then you can use the submit method, but normally click also works here, just for your information. So if it is
Okay.
a button, then click and submit, both applicable. But click is like click on radio button, checkbox, link, anything you can click. Okay. But
Hmm.
submit is something especially for the button. So that's the thing you have to know while using the submit. When to use submit and when not to use, you have to know. So on the link, you cannot use submit, right? So this is something restriction.
Yeah.
So I'm just commenting this for now. Three things I'm doing here. First, I'm identifying the email field, then typing Selenium, then the password also I'm typing Selenium, and then I'm clicking on this submit button. And after 5 seconds, I'm just printing the title and current URL and then going to quit and then end of the program. So this is something basic demo for the mainly on the send keys. Okay. So this is something typing here. This is called a send keys operation. So let me run this. It is taking so much time and meanwhile the time will be over and it will be closed. You see here. So you see this is working as expected. Everything is working. No problem. And one thing I want to show you that suppose that you have put some wrong kind of locator. Okay. This is not existing. And when you try to run this program, then one exception will come and then exception you have to know that what is that exception. That's the most common one. That is called no such element exception. You see, nothing is it is doing because it failed. It will wait for 15 seconds before throwing the exception because I have given the implicit wait, automatic wait that wait for 15 seconds before throwing the exception. Even the element is not found. And since it is failed, so it will not complete the execution and it failed. You can see here which line it is failed here. So just start looking from the bottom. Don't look from the top, right? So just start looking from the bottom. So this is something, the file name which I was using. So this is something relevant and the line number 32. If I go there, it will directly take me to that line number 32. This is the issue. So I just corrected it and the what issue it showed here, no such element, unable to locate method CSS selector with this property what you have given. So it means the thing which you have given for that there is no such element. So it is showing that no such element exception. Okay. So this is comes under the runtime exception for your information that is coming from the Java and in Selenium they have extended it something kind of thing. And which line number you have to identify. First you have to look into that and what is the exception coming. So you will go and just fix that. Oh, due to this scheme, right? And now I'm able to correct it quickly and then I will just test it that whether it is working or not. That is one thing. You see here when I'm clicking the login button, I just want to wait for 5 seconds because I know there will be some kind of let's wait for 15 seconds. Okay. So it will display some kind of error which I want to see here and then error will display. The password that you must on the basis of this text, I am trying to find the web element. So this is something like it contains text and the password that you. So means partial text I have given, and basis on that it will identify the error message, and then I will say that error message is displayed or not. So I'm saying that error message is displayed. So it will give me true, and then after a 5 second, I'm just going to close it. It's okay. Let me run this. You can see here, it displayed that error message, right? So it's saying that true. Okay. So error message is displayed. Is it true? Then it is coming here. 5 seconds. Then it is printing the title and the URL. So title is login into the Facebook. Then title is URL is this one. And then the correct continuation of the URL. And then the last line successfully completed. So you can see here, this is working as expected. So this was the demo for the send keys. Basically, it's a simple thing. Yeah. And now we have submit as well. So already showed you that where to use submit button, right? So in this case, you can
Yeah.
use submit, but if you want, you can use click as well. So both will work. So let me show you that instead of submit, you can use click as well. So same thing will be there. I will just copy this code. And instead of submit, I'm just going to use dot click. So if I using click one, so I'm expecting that it should work in the same way. So thread dot sleep 15,000 I have given, like let's make 10,000. 10,000 means 10 seconds. 1,000 means 1 seconds. Okay. So thread dot sleep is just I'm using for demo, but when you do actual programming, so you remove all the codes like this when you are submitting for final what you call code merge. So that is not accepted. It's just for demo I have put because it's kind of interrupt. It will slow down the exception, right? So for demo purpose, it's okay. I can use it, but for if you are using in the industry level, so they will never accept this code. So let me right click and run this. See here, it's executing. It should click on login button. It already clicked here. You can see here this rotation is going on the top, and this is the same error message is coming. And after 10 seconds, it will identify whether displayed or not, and then it will do. So this line is printed. It is working successfully, right? You
Mm.
can see, right? So both is working. Means you don't confuse with submit and when click. So click is like applicable everywhere, but submit is specifically available when it is a button tag. So that is the main difference here. So we have seen here, and now I will go back and I will tell you that what I have not gone through, which I will go in the later sessions. So close already gone through find element, find elements, get URL, get page source, get title. Get window handle I have not gone through because it is a multi-window handling and that I will take it later. Get window handles also I have not gone through. Manage I have already shown you. One on the window and like if for implicit wait as well. Navigate we have already seen. Quit we have already seen. So switch to also we have not seen. So switch to get window handle, get window handles. So these are the next level things. Means like later sensors, but they are like listed here. So that is okay. Now it's asking to go and practice couple of things or think whether you can do it or not. So write a script which prints the page title of the facebook.com and login page in the Chrome browser. So that's the same example I have already shown you so many times,
Yeah.
that how to get the title of the page. So they will just ask you, then you can take that. Yeah, driver.getTitle is the method. Write a script to print page URL of the google.com. So that we are already using. Just open the google.com and via driver.getCurrent URL, you can print that. So it's asking that get the page source. So get page source is the method which you will be using, right? So three
Mm.
methods they are asking you that go and write it. So we have already done this. Now type of locator. So couple of locators we have already interacted. One is ID, one is class name. So normally class name very lessly used. Sometimes it is used as a combination. Means ID should be this and class name should be this. Like name should be this and. So in the basis of like and condition, you can use like that. So normally class name is not unique, so people are using it lessly. But yeah, combination with anything you can use. So I will show you that some examples I have for the class name as well. Name is very widely used, ID, name, and they will ask in which order you will use. So you can tell that I will use ID, then I will use name, then I will use CSS selector, then I will use XPath. So order should be like that. You can tell in the interview. And they will ask you the reason. Then you can say normally ID is unique by the developer. Name most of the cases unique, but 90%, not 100% unique name, right? Then CSS selector, why? Because it's a native component of the browser, so it bit faster. So I will go with the this one. And then XPath, because sometimes I need to identify element on the basis of text, which is not supported in CSS selector. Sometimes like we have to do forward and backward navigation. So in the CSS selector, only forward is there, backward is not there, right? So that's why we are using mostly XPath. So widely used is XPath, but faster in execution is CSS selector. So that's why you have to tell in the order and you have to tell all the locators name. So 8 locators are there which you can use. Okay. So now we are going to have a detailed session on the CSS selector. It's written here CCS, but actually it's the CSS. So already I have given you some kind of brief here, but let me show you if I have the real examples. Right click inspect. So class is input text like this. So if I have to identify this web element on the basis of class name, so what I can do here, I will just copy this text. And one thing I just put here dot and just put a class name. So it should be highlighted, but it is not highlighting. It's a CSS selector. C1. If it is I'm taking different class name, that should be different for different locators or different web element. I'm going to take example. You can see here, this one is like one web element. I can take this example you see here. I think it is not identifying on the basis of that dot here, but it's okay. Normally, if you have a class, then you can just put a dot and it should be identified. You can see here, now it is identified. Something is there, but I'm not sure like which element it is pointing. I think it is pointing to the whole page. So that's why I'm just going for demo that how to use it. So just right click here. So this is highlighting this part. So if I want to use it like this, I will copy this. Okay, it is a separate class. You can see a spacing is there. So if a spacing is there, then you have to use in a different way. Once by a dot dot you can use. So right click, edit. Copy. It is saying that, but in the real time you can also use dot, I believe. Here it is not coming, but it's a, so since it is a class now, so you can just use a dot. So that should work. But for like identifying guys, you can just use tag name, whatever the tag name is there, means it's a div one, and just I'm going edit HTML. So it will come like this. Then you can take any class name. Class equal to like this. It's not coming. I will take this one class. So you can write like this. You can see here it's a div one and then class, then equal to like this. But most of the cases you will not find class name is like too frequently usable things. But if you have to write, then sometimes you can write like this. So it has the ID and class name. So in and condition, I will tell you. Just put this, then add, then ID equal to in the single quotes, close it. You can see here. This is the AND condition. So AND condition, it means like anything wrong also I will see here. So it will work. You can see here one of one. Sorry, in the AND condition, if anything is wrong, then it will not work. Like I just changing anything. You can see here, it is coming as a 0 of 0. But if I put a comma over here, it means or condition. Or condition means anything is correct, it will work. So you can see here, it is saying that 1 of 1. So this is something you have to know. And same thing it is trying to identify here. So this is basically a AND condition. Tag name, attribute 1 equal to value 1 and then big bracket closing without a spacing or a spacing also okay, means attribute 2 then value 2. But if you put a comma, then it will become a or condition. Okay. So normally we are writing like that, tag name attribute equal to value. This is for CSS selector. Now three important things. This CSS selector also supports these things. So mostly we are using asterisks. It's a kind of contains. Okay. It is also a start with and end with, but mostly we are not using this too much. But sometimes it is needed. You can use. It's better to know that there are three wildcards given. One is a star, one is like caret, and one is dollar symbol. So I will find some example for you. Then I will show you. I think I have. CSS selector. This one is example, right? Yeah, I have this example already. So I will show you this part. So I have to modify a couple of things over here. Up to here, I will copy and just change it. And this part has to add throws declaration. That should be okay. Now I will close other part, close others. Don't need. Just focus here and one by one. So let me show you this application here. I'm copying it. First, I will show you manually, then I will show you via automation. So if I'm coming here, there is a track button. You can see. So this is a track button and this is something text box. So I think I have taken the example of text box, how to identify this web element. So this is the text area tag name. Name is AWB. ID is track AWBS. Class is this text area, something like that. And the only thing this is given here. Okay. So just I'm going to highlight three things because already I have given you those examples. This is something about class area. You can see, sorry, class name. If I copy this just to test whether it is correct one or not. So I'm just going Control F and putting here. You can see a dot and then class name. It is saying that one of one. And if it is hitting enter button, it is highlighting this as well. You can see. So this is the correct locator. So for class, we can use just dot. Same thing it is saying here. If you are using class name, then you can use a dot symbol. If you're using ID, you can use a hash symbol. If you want to use it in a normal way, then tag name, then big bracket, attribute equal to value. So all examples already I have covered and then I will show you. The main is star, caret and dollar symbol. So what I will do one by one, I will just run the code so that you will understand. So first time I'm using ID. So this element is already having right click inspect ID. You can see ID is equal to track AWBS. So same thing I'm using here. And by CSS selector I'm using. So this is something perfect example for that. Now if I'm going, what I'm doing first, try to understand. I open the web page. Then I identify the web element and I am giving the name as a text area track. Name is this. Then I'm making it as a clear. Then I'm putting as a send key hello world. Then after 5 seconds, again I am making it a clear. Okay. So this is the only thing I'm going to do here. Just entering something, then clearing it. And then after that, just running and show you the demo. So it is running. You can see here. So it can see here. It is 5 seconds. It will clear it up and then it will close it up. End of the program successfully completed. So that is the thing. So this was something based on the demo of ID. Now I will comment this part. Second demo is class name. Same web element is there. Just I am trying to identify on the basis of class name instead of ID. Okay. So this part I have highlighted. And why I have not highlighted everyone because the name is every time same. So just I cannot use it multiple things. So let me do that. I just identified on the basis of .t area and just going to run this. Same thing it will happen. There will be no difference. You can see here, hello world. After 5 seconds, it will clear it off. And then after 5 seconds, it will close it off. So it's working on the basis of class name. Now the normal way. Normal way says that via tag name, then attribute name, then equal to in the single quotes, the value of the attribute. So attribute value is track EWBS. You already seen that, right? Now going to run this. You can see here. It worked. Normal way also it worked. So that was already expected. If I am removing the tag name, then also it is same, no impact. Okay, so it will be same. Just what I did, I removed the tag name and rest of the things are same. So I'm just going to run this. You can see here. So this is also working as expected. Now on the basis of or condition. So or condition, either this or name should be this. I'm saying that. But let me put a wrong word. First, let me go with the valid scenario. Then I will show you the invalid one. Let me use simple way. Copy. Not or condition. I will go with the and condition first. So and condition, this is not needed, right? So means both has to be correct. Then only it will work. So I'm going to right click and run it. Which I am saying that ID should be this and name should be that. It's saying that it's working correct. So on the basis of multiple attributes, I am trying to find a web element. So this is also working. But what if I put a wrong one? So this is the AND condition, right? Anything you put a wrong, then it will not identify the web element. I just deliberately put the wrong keyword. The value is not correct of the attribute. Now I run this to show you that for the AND condition, both has to be correct. So this time it will not find this web element and then the application will be failed. So see here, this is failed. No such element exception. And which line number? Line number 31. So this is saying that. So now you understand it has to be correct in the both way. So let me comment this part and see this or condition. Or condition says that any one is correct, I will work. Even second one is incorrect, that is also okay. First is incorrect, the second is correct, that is also okay. This is the or condition. So this part just or condition. That's both value I am putting a correct. So it worked correctly. It's so fast it worked. You see here. Again, I will run it to show you. You see here, it worked here.
Yeah.
Then after 5 seconds, it cleared it up and then closed. So you see here, this part is coming, means my program is successful, right? But what if I put a first one is incorrect and second one is correct, right? You check. Okay. So I just deliberately put it the wrong value and then second one is correct and this put a comma. Comma means or condition. So or condition means any one is correct, that will work. No worries. You see here, this worked, right?
Yeah.
Even the first value was incorrect, then it worked. So it will not work in the both if it both is false, but anything is okay, it will work. So this part also you have understand. Now the wildcard. If you see here this, so this talking about start with, contains and dollar symbol ends with. So let me show you this part first. Start with. I'm not putting the whole one. Instead of track AWBS, I'm just putting a track. And here I have put here caret. Caret is start with. So I'm saying that ID should be start with track. Anything it is matching, it will try to fetch the first element. If multiples are also matching, it will try to interact with the first element. If nothing is matching, then probably you will get some kind of exception. So you see here already I'm using this one. Track is correct. So let's test it is working on it. It's a partial match, but sometimes you have a very long text and you want to minimize it. So in that case, it will help you. You see here, it's working. it identified the web element and it worked. So it worked. So this was something to start with. This is end with. End with means dollar symbol. So I'm saying that it should be end with this one. So it will look for the web element which is matching with this condition. Actually, this is a condition. So it will try to find the element and then it will identify. And then it will do the normal flow. Run as Java application. So see here it worked, right?
Yeah.
The most important is the contents. So most of the time you will be using contents because if you put a contents, you don't need to worry about whether it is start or end. It will just match. Okay. The contents is applicable for anything like track is also okay. WBS is also okay. And sometimes I'm putting a in between word. So it's not necessary that it should be in between. Contents means anywhere, anywhere. Either it starts or end, it doesn't matter. So that's why like it's most popular contents, right? And instead of that, people are using contents. So I just put here TK underscore AW just for demo purpose, but it's not mandatory. You can use any text, which is the part of this text. Okay. So in the basis of that, it will try to identify the web element and then it will do the rest of the code. Here it's working, correct? So it worked. So this was the perfect example of the CSS selector for you. So CSS selector is this much only, right? But in the interview, no, not this much. We have more things, but mostly this much is okay. You will be using. Sometimes we have like absolute CSS selector. So like based on that one element, you can try to find. So that is something one part. Maybe it is needed, then I'll show you. It's with this one. Means via this, what do you call it? Greater than symbol. You can try to find next element. Means if you have found one element, so on the basis of that, you want to identify some next element, so you can do that. Consider that this example. If I come here on that page and I try to find this web element, right? So this is something text area, right? So this is something like siblings, but if it is having like what do you call next element, then you can use it. So let me do form. Okay, form name. So I will try to find that example, then I will show you. So this is something form name. Right click inspect. Or it was a form, right? Not name. Just a form. And then big bracket name equal to right click inspect track.
Back.
So you can see here it is trying to interact with the form only. But in the form, we have some called childs. Means inside this, we have this area. So if I want to interact with the text area, so what I will do here, I can put a greater than symbol here, and then I can put text area. This text area. Okay, you can see here. So spacing is not needed. I have just put for demo purpose. You can write here like this. You can see here. So sometimes it is needed. So one is like greater than. So based on that first element, you can identify the child element. So that is also possible. For child element identification, you can use greater than symbol. It means it is locating for the next element, right? And sometimes we have more elements, means what you call list kind of thing. So first child, nth child is their option. So that is also like one example I can show you in some other classes. So this was something like basic things you have to know about these things, that we can use CSS selector in these ways. Okay. So this is the fastest locator because it's the driver native component. Sorry, web page native component, and one is three native components are there. One is HTML, one is CSS selector, and one is JavaScript. So if something is based on that, so execution wise, these are a bit faster. Okay. But other things like are for just for helping hands. You can use them if it is available. So this is something about CSS selector. Now we have next class, which is XPath, and it's a very long topic. So just prepare, and it's very important as well because finding locator is a bit challenging thing. Writing locator, finding locator is the most important part of the Selenium. And in the interview, they will just simply ask you to write the locator for any web element. They will randomly give you any web element and they will ask you, okay, write me the locator for that. So you are able to write the locator, then you're selected kind of thing.
Mm.
So that's why I'm putting here as a general practice that go for these things. Just try to write always every time. If you try to
Mm.
copy paste, that is also available, but they will not accept that because that is not stable. So you should know how to write the locator. So yeah, that's it for today's class. Any doubt anyone has?
No, Rajiv.
I joined late, so I'll check. But I think this one is pretty simple. I have done this before, so I can use that experience.
That's good. Good to know.
Rajiv, tomorrow I will not able to join the class. I have doctor's appointment.